Good evening, everybody. Dr. Glow here with Black Girl Everything, and I have the beautiful Sheryl Hatwood. Hello, Sheryl. How are you?
I am fine, Gloria. I am doing well.
Great. I'm so happy to actually talk to you because you're one of the first people that I connected with when I started Black Girl Everything, and we really didn't get a chance to really engage as much as I would like to. And you have so many cool things going on, and I want to know all about this evening and to tell the audience because you're like super dope, by
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
the way.
No, but you are driving because you feed off of people that are doing the same things, and it's like, yeah, this girl is going. Yes.
Yeah. It's been good. It's definitely been a blessing. So,
Awesome.
where do you want to start with the people today? You have so many different angles to go about it. So let's just jump into it. Tell people about you and who is Sheryl Hatwood.
Sheryl Hatwood is a wife, a mother, a friend, a sister, um, who is finally found her voice and is speaking all things truth, all things that are relevant to make me me. And I'm not denying myself, and I'm not going to shame myself into silence. So I think I late in life, but I found my voice, and it's great to live an honest life and not pretend that I've had this crystal clear path towards where I've been.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want me to continue? I can start with the how it all started. Just let me, because I don't want to just take it.
No,
Guide me.
no, I got you. I got you. No, so we're definitely good because I think that all lives, all amazing lives, all have a history, all have a past, right? So we all went through different things to accomplish who we are within the moment. And I know I have my story, you definitely have a story. So let's start off with you kind of just giving a synopsis about where you came to the point where you are right now. Because I know you have a couple of organizations that you actually are managing and in charge of that are your own that I definitely want to touch on this evening. So to start from the beginning, so what started you on your path of, what should we say, enlightenment?
My uncomfortability. And that started because I was, you try and go through life, and you can only pretend for so long, and then I have a husband that keeps me ask me questions that I don't want to ask myself. He was exactly what I needed, and I decided to write a story. Let me just back up again. I am a survivor of sexual abuse and domestic abuse. I've done drugging, alcohol, attempted suicide. So I've run the gamut of a life where the sexual assault punctuated a lot of the other bad decisions in my life.
Yeah.
And no one knew what was wrong with me. My parents probably, no, I'm not probably, my parents thought I was possessed with demons because I became this very defiant person who I didn't know how to express my hurt.
Okay.
So my path became to find someone. I associated love with hurt. And that's how the domestic abuse evolved. And then I became a hurt person going through life, trying to find my truth, being untruthful to myself. So when you go on that journey, it just becomes, you just become this fake person walking through life, trying to perceive to people that everything was okay. And my smile became my mask. It wasn't until I got into like church. I was always brought up in the church, but my religious background has always been the root of, it's always been there. So once you leave once something's implanted in you, you can't really get away from it. So with all the drug and drinking or whatever, there was just some foundational elements that were always present. And I decided after a long overhaul of being lost, trying to find myself, that I was going to go back to the church. And I went back to the church, and I stumbled in, I stumbled out, I stumbled in, stumbled out, because I was trying to still find my truth. And then I ran across, I finally found my rooting, and thought that, okay, well, I got to set an example for my daughter. And I met a man also who was in church, and he really helped the pivot of my life. And he was the first man that really asked me about myself and who actually wanted to know me without like jumping into my bed. And I thought,
Yeah.
something's wrong with this brother here. Something's wrong. So I just, I was very reserved because I'm only used to be treated a certain way. So when somebody comes at you different, you question the good things, and you bucket them with the bad. And he asked me some really pointed questions. And one time I broke. He told me, I know that you've been through some things and I'm not going anywhere. And I just want you to know that I'm here for you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I tell people all the time that I think one of my biggest moments in my life was when I got a divorce and left a very domestic relationship. And it was very volatile on both ends, and I cleared my head, and then I rekindled. I know my current wife since we were 12.
Right.
And we got into a relationship, and I just realized my whole life is just different. It is. It's a totally different life. Like, I've gotten 2 degrees, like I've started all my businesses and like all these different things that are great. My son is amazing. He is leaps and bounds from the person that he was, because he was part of that relationship. So I totally understand how you can meet a person, and that person can catapult you to your greatness.
Yes.
And partnerships are so important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's what he did. So I decided when I was in the church, I became involved in writing.
Okay.
I never went to school for writing, but I wrote in a place of, I guess, in deep resolve. And I remember when I was 16, the teachers called my parents and they said, this girl, something's wrong with her. She's ready to commit suicide, because I wrote from a different place and they didn't know what happened to me at this time.
Uh-huh.
So, and I found out that I really love to see words come to life. I can direct the path of words, and I can make people think differently by just injecting words that don't belong in certain places. So I wrote this play, and I didn't know how far I was going to go until I was writing it. And then I just stopped, because I'm like, this is too much. There's a lot of things coming up that I didn't even realize was there. Yeah. And my husband's like, you got to keep writing. You got to keep writing. I'm like, leave me alone. I don't want to. I can't do this. I can't do this. So eventually I did come back around, and I finished the play, which was The Wounded Soul. And that was about the sexual abuse and the domestic violence. And it was right before the Me Too movement. So it was very timely. And so when it debuted, it was off-Broadway play, and it was a really great experience that I'm thinking, okay, what do I do next? And my husband's like, you can't do something next. You have to stay here. You have to, there's people. And I realized there was a lot of people that needed this, and it was more beneficial for me, I think, than it was for them, because it allowed me to give voice to all the shame that I thought was associated with my life, because that's, I would sometimes shrink in crowds because I wasn't good enough. I was never enough for me. I was never enough for another person. I was never enough, always want to feel wanted. So, but now you have this voice, and there's collective people acknowledging that, they've been through similar, men and women. And they were coming up to me and, in tears after the play. And I'm like, I want to honor these women for coming through this, and took me to the Women's Worth Awards, which was sold out the first year. Second year was almost sold out. Third year sold out. And then COVID hit.
Good old COVID.
I know, good old COVID, but it's being rebirthed. I'm doing I'm doing a 5th anniversary next year in 2022, just to revitalize it, because I can't let my surroundings dictate my purpose, and I have to come back. And I found like I pivoted a lot to help a lot of people during this time, and I have to get back to what my purpose is, and my what I believe that I was put on earth for.
Very good. So let's go back to the play. So under the play, right, you actually debuted under your own production company, correct?
Yes.
And what is the name of that?
It's called Endless Voice Productions.
Okay, perfect. So everything surrounds about you finding your voice, right? It's a consistent narrative throughout everything that you do. And I think that's really, really cool. I really
Yeah.
like it. Really like it.
Yes.
So what about the play? So are you going to air it again?
I was just asked that last week that I
Oh,
need
look
to
at me
do
asking again. Something else really important. Are you going to do it?
yeah, I have to get my cast together, but I just, because it takes a lot of work to, get everyone together and the rehearsals. So I had to try and find avenues where I could speak to the same group of people with the
Yeah.
less amount of resources.
Got it.
And so that's why I wrote the book, because that was another angle. And I got two more angles coming out. So, I'm just praying and just pivoting and just making sure that I have everything lined up before I officially announce those two avenues.
I
But
feel you.
there's some really good things going in the background. So I haven't really been present as I would like to be in social
Okay.
media. But that doesn't mean that I don't see on occasion. I get distracted, I think, thinking, okay, how are they doing this? How are they getting so much time? And I realize that I social media can actually hinder my focus. And for me, and some people, they're really good at it. They can do what they got to do and then come off. Me, no, I got to find out what's going on, and then I'm being true. I got to find out what's going on, but I just didn't like I was starting to get this spirit of like comparison, and I didn't want that, so I had to back away.
Mm,
I started to back away, and then I realized, okay, let me just regroup and just be me, be
yeah.
who I need to be. What defines me, and my space really defines me. Everything around me is intentional. And then I came out with my candle line. So everything is woven together from the same root. And that's what I wanted. I know some people can go left, A, B, and C, but I will always want my message to tie around the voice and being intentional about what's your space. Because if you're not intentional about what's in your space, your voice will get silenced.
No, I agree. So I hear you mentioned your book, which I read, by the way.
Awesome.
Definitely, definitely cool. Definitely a good read. Definitely a good read. It
Thank you.
touched on
Thank
so
you.
many different things. And it was so a lot part of your stories was very familiar, which is always interesting when you're reading. I'm like, oh, I know this. I know this too. Oh, I know that one too. So it was really, really familiar. It was actually very well written in the East and a good read because I love books that just flow. And you said that in the beginning about how you just flow with words, you could tell a story. I felt like as if I was in it,
That's
right? I was
awesome.
in the moment. I was able to visualize it, which also can be painful at times when you're writing about such hard
It
stuff.
is.
Yeah.
It
So it was
is.
definitely really good. So tell people the name of your book.
The book is called The Restored Soul. And the play was The Wounded Soul. And the play was called The Wounded Soul because it was a poem that I wrote about my wounded soul
Mhm.
when I was 16, and I came across it and I thought, okay, give it that title. But the book I wanted to write from a place of overcoming. So I
Mhm.
put it as The Restored Soul. So it's still tied in the same. I just want to can I just back up a second about the theater? Why it's important to have your voice?
Sure.
The theater that I wrote the play to present it to. I was denied, actually. He said it's not the type of play that we do here, because so and I was like, really? Well, your mission statement says A, B, C, D, and E, right? And he's like, well, the board. And I said, well, I need you to consider, and if you use what they have publicized back for them to try and defend, it usually works against them.
Mhm.
So he said,
Yeah.
I gave him a new set of eyes. Let's do it. And I'm like, okay, so we did it. And he's reluctant. He's telling me this and this and this. Well, you're independent. You won't have this. You won't have this. And I'm starting to, and when people tell me don't sometimes, um, I have to prove them
Mhm.
that I'm going to show you
Don't
different.
tell me that.
Yes, and the second show was almost sold out. He was so impressed, and his only advice was just don't make the scenes so harsh, because people are there's another way you can do it. I said no. I said this is not entertainment for me. I want people to experience what domestic violence and sexual abuse, what can happen. This is not to
Yeah.
make people comfortable and sit back and eat popcorn and go and not have a second thought. So
Mhm.
I say all that because it's important to stay true to your voice. And even in spite of somebody else's reasoning to why you shouldn't do something, stand in your truth and do it from a point of because you have a different perspective and you have a purpose of to pursue.
No, I think that's definitely true. That's definitely true. Okay, so now we've talked about the play. We've mentioned the book, the candle line. Do you know I love my candles? Okay, I got my candle. It's sitting there by my bed, and I light it in the evening hours. It smells so good, and it's holding on like forever. I burn it all the time, and it's going nowhere. I love it.
Yes,
I like the candle line.
I love candle. Like if you come to my home ever, I will have a candle in almost every corner, every ledge. Candles give me peace. It's just serenity. Along with the fireplace, the candles, nobody can bother me. I'm all set. That
You're
and
good to go.
water. But yeah, the name came to me because I felt like I called a truce with myself. I wasn't fighting all these things inside of me. I wasn't pretending anymore, and I was at a place where I really thought, okay, I've called a truce, and it came to me, and they have acronyms for. I have acronyms for the word. So just do you want me to continue? Want me to?
No, go ahead. Talk about the acronym.
Okay,
I remember half of it.
Okay, so the truth stands for T stands for truth. Always always stand in your truth and know what your truth is. Sorry, know what the truth is, because there's your truth and there is the truth. Okay, so you have to be sure of what is and what isn't. And that's definitely how you have to define yourself. The R is be relevant, remain relevant. Always try and do self evaluations. You can never grow if you stay the same way you are. You can never grow if you don't take time and see what you can do better or differently. The U is unique. You're unique, so don't try and be somebody else. There's only one of you. There's similarities that will always intersect, but you are unique, and use whatever space you can to define your uniqueness, and don't be redefined by what you think you should be. And then there's choice. The choice is that you make. You have a choice. So one of my things is even making no decision is still a decision. So you have a choice of what to do in life. And then the E stands for elevate your mind. So always try and make sure that what you're intaking is elevating your mind and not demeaning and not putting it down. Like I have to fast from the news and television because you just can get bored. I have to wake up like life is so happy, but life is happy because I've decided to elevate my mind and not get caught up in the weeds of what actually is happening in a world where people are being their mind is being desensitized to all the evils out there. So I've made really great choices to elevate my mind and just to stay focused on my purpose. And yeah, I sway back and forth, but I have my moral compass of what guides me and what is and what I want to become and who I want to remain and continue to grow to be.
No, I think that's dope. And I get you on that, just not watching the news thing. I don't watch it. Like, yes, I have streaming TV, right? So I was on my phone yesterday because I was going to have a TV in my bedroom. So I was like, okay, I'm up. She went to sleep. So I was like, let me sit here and me watch a little bit of a movie or something. And then the news came on. It was like news one. And it was somebody this and this. I was like, oh no, I turned it off so fast because you were not going to sit here and defunctionize my whole mood. No,
right.
Like I'm good. I'm sitting there crocheting. I'm like, oh, this is so nice. It's so peaceful. Have my candle lit. I'm like, I'm on it.
There you go.
Yeah, so I don't do the news at all. Like I do it when I find it's pertinent, like what's the weather. But past that, yeah, I don't feed into that type of stuff because
you crochet.
Yeah, I crochet.
I crochet too.
See, look at you. We're
I
cool.
do, I do. What are you making now?
Oh, every Christmas, for my friends, I have a large group of friends, like my crew. I've
Uh,
been giving a blanket for the last 8 years to the
uh,
most accomplished person in my friend group. So
oh,
every year, yeah, it's really cool. So every year they try to figure out who's going to get the blanket. So this person this year is going to get their blanket, and they've been like stalking me for a blanket for the last few years. But they really made some amazing strides this year, so they actually earned it. So I'm working on
that's
that right now.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
but I do
pretty
like
cool.
hats and scarves and stuff like that. I can do gloves, all those cool things. I don't
I'm,
crochet as much as I used to because
yeah,
I'm using my hands for other things,
yeah.
but I definitely enjoy it.
Right. No, I do straight lines. I haven't learned how to do like a hat or gloves, or I do
Oh yeah,
straight lines. So if you want a scarf, you want a blanket, you
you
want
got that?
I got that. If you want cuffs, I could probably join those, but I haven't involved in that, but it's a really great pastime.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah,
It is so
definitely.
relaxing. I didn't be sitting there.
Right.
Yeah, it's like super comfortable. I really enjoy it. I definitely enjoy it. So I know you say you're not mentioning all the cool things you have coming up. So I know there's some cool things in the works. So I'm very excited about those cool things.
Well,
So,
I can speak on one. I can speak on
oh,
one.
give me something. What you
I
got?
guess I can speak on one. The one is we're in the midst of and this last we started pre-COVID, no, during COVID, and that is to make The Wounded Soul into a movie. So we're doing all it's the script has been adapted for film. We have some feelers out there, and we're going to be doing some film festivals soon, and I we hope to propel it to the next level with funding and everything, because this it's a bigger animal, the film, but I'm really driven to make it work on that platform, and we have a few opportunities that might make it work. So just it's just
Well, you have a few opportunities that you can choose from that's going to make it
there you go. Word choices. You have a
all the
choice
time. All the
all the
time to put that
time.
out in the universe. Because I know, as you mentioned, when I came to your launch, you kind of mentioned it a little bit. So I was
Yeah.
like, is it coming? Is it coming? Is it coming? Is it coming? I'm very excited about that.
Yes. No, I reconnected with my producer in California recently, and we just regrouped and re-strategized. So things are going in the background. I don't have the time that I used to do. And then
Yeah.
I'm at the Manor too. I'm doing the president's work.
Hmm.
So
So tell me about the manor. What is it exactly?
yes, the Manor is a historical site that was structured in 1913, established in
Okay.
1913, and it was a club it was first owned by men, and basically the men gave it over to the women. It's supposed to epitomize the culture of the arts and the theater, and some philanthropic efforts.
Okay.
Um, it's a beautiful event space. It's got a theater, 330 seat theater, and
Really?
walking past the building, you would never know. I fell in love with that place, and ever since then, I've been a part of its culture. So what we do is we bring events, uh, social issues. There's every once a month they have evening events to bring to light some of the events that's happening, some of the social constructs that are happening around in the area, some of the interests. Some are playful, some are more serious.
Yeah.
But in the new year, we're going to start a woman in business theme, where I'm going to ask some women in business, yes, to come in and speak, and it's going to be a collaborative effort, because when you support each other, you go so much further than trying to be an island.
Yep.
And I've introduced two new membership tiers,
Okay.
because I want to incorporate the youth, raise the awareness of the arts and culture and theater within the area, um, and I wanted to get more business people within the area. So there's 4 tiers of membership, but it's just a beautiful. If you haven't been there, come and take a look. Come and get a
Where
little
is
tour.
it?
it's in Pelham. It's at 1023 Esplanade.
Really?
It's a beautiful, you would go past the building and think it's just a beautiful mansion. And when I walked past there, I happened across it when I was taking a walk, and I saw the sign that says the Manor Club. So I came home and I said, what is the Manor Club? And I looked at it and said, it has a 330 seat theater. I'm like, there's no way that building has a 330 seat theater. So I went there the next day, and the office manager was so accommodating, took me through, and ever since I've had most of my events there, it's been home, because I love theater, I love the arts, I love the culture, I love the people. It's almost like it's like a family. It's 25 years old. That building itself is 100 years old.
Wow.
Yes.
Very interesting. I'm gonna have to come and check this place out, since it's probably 4 minutes from my house.
Exactly. I know, that's the thing. I can work from home. So sometimes I go and work. I work from there because it gives me another area to go, and I don't have to find a co-working space. So it's really cool. But I really enjoy being the eyes on the ground and seeing what's happening and meeting the people. It's a very unique culture, and it's changing, and we have fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna come check that out.
We have Merry Hour on Fridays. Just telling you that. Yes.
So if people wanted to find you, Cheryl, how can they find you on social media where you be hiding at sometimes?
My name, Sheryl Hatwood, on Instagram and Facebook, and LinkedIn. It's my name with hyphenated, Sheryl Hatwood. Also Endless Voice Productions at Facebook and Instagram. You can find me there. And if you can't find me there, contact Dr. Glow. She'll be able to redirect you to where I'm
definitely, yeah, because I got you on speed dial. You're like in my phone with your real name.
Right. Right.
I know you for a while now. Like it's been over a year, so like we're like best friends. So
I know. I was so glad that we really got to connect, and I look forward to that more so in the future.
Oh, definitely. Because I'm gonna come over to this whole Manor Club thing. I want to check that out. I've really been working on building up my network. That's my focus for 2022, and just linking more into the community, especially as I start to grow on my community base and some of the other things I'm doing. So no, I'm definitely gonna come over there and check that out, because I love the arts. Not really a theater buff, because I can't remember stuff, but yeah, but I like going to shows. I think it's great. I love anything creative, honestly. I just love the arts. Any type of anything creative, I'm just all for it. I want to experience it. So I'm definitely gonna come over there and experience that.
Well, we have a lot of people that come there to do their book release. I'm
always looking for cool space.
So and there's the event space is if you want some pictures, I can show it to you, but it's a really good space. It's
I'm gonna come. I want to go feel it.
Yes, come and feel it, and let me know when you're gonna come, and I'll meet you there, and I'll let you know what time I'm there.
Perfect. I will definitely do that. So one thing, so people want to purchase your book, where can they buy your book at?
Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. Just
I knew that. I wanted you to say
right. And my candles are on back order right now. I don't know if they're on one of those ships I see on the TV with all the supplies. So I hope to get them before Christmas so people can get their orders filled. So and that's my fault. I let that slip, let the inventory get too low, and I didn't replenish quick enough, but that's okay.
Trust me, it happens. My supplier for my hoodies and stuff called me, your hoodies are ready. I'm like, ooh, I was supposed to pick those up like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
But then maybe I should, so I can fill these orders. How about that?
Right. It's true business happenings. It's just it's honest. That's what it is. And sometimes you let things slip in. Well. Give yourself grace. Yeah. Give yourself grace.
I do. I'm like, I'll go tomorrow. I'll be all right. I'll ship everything out.
All right.
By Saturday.
Right.
It was so great talking to you today. Thank you so much for your time this evening in the middle of your busy mind.
Thank you for having me. And I look forward. I'm going to look for you at the club. Don't let me have to hunt you down.
Oh, no, I'm coming over.
Okay.
I'm coming over. That is one of my things, is to be more present.
Yeah.
Like outside of in real life. making
Yeah, I
real
love
human connection.
I love in person and I love building relationships. So that definitely it's important. So I'll see you when I see you. And thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you, Cheryl. So we speak again.
We shall.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.